So let's dig a little deeper into the multiple layers of the Supreme Court Roe v. Wade controversy and discuss the latest developments also in the crisis on our southern border with tonight's Brain Team panel. Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall and former Trump 2020 press communications director Aaron Perini. Great to have both of you back with us tonight.
Hi, Shannon.
Okay, so let's start with this. Chicago Mayor Lightfoot getting some attention for some of her tweets yesterday. To my friends in the LGBTQ plus community, the Supreme Court is coming for us next. This moment has to be a call to arms. We will not surrender our rights without a fight to victory. Aaron, there are those who criticize folks on the right, including President Trump, for using language they felt provoked and caused, some unpleasant things in this country. How are we to set the standard for the left or the right being careful with the words that they use?
Well, all parties need to be incredibly careful with the language that they use, especially something like a call to arms. That is incredibly dangerous rhetoric and could be considered violent rhetoric. And we have seen, specifically when it comes to judges, where there could be targeting and potentially deadly outcomes because of that targeting. There was a judge in New Jersey whose son was murdered when she was the target of a potential homicide because of her work as a judge. There's no place for this in the discourse within this country, and we need to be better as a nation to protect ourselves and not try to intimidate justices when we know that that will not change an outcome. And that is reason why there is a law on the books to make sure that it is illegal to try to intimidate a judge, a jury, a prosecutor, so that their outcomes are free and clear. They cannot be questioned, and that is why justice should be blind, so that there is no intimidation whatsoever. And Lori Lightfoot really needs to step this back completely because it is way across the line here.
So as to that federal law, I think we're all familiar with it now. In very plain language, it says about not being able to protest at people's homes in an effort to influence their vote and to pressure them or harass them. Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican out of South Carolina, has written a letter to the Attorney General Merrick Garland saying this: I urge you to take any action necessary to protect the justices, their families, and the independence of the federal judiciary. You have both the duty and the jurisdiction to do so. And he cites that federal law. Leslie, should the Attorney General step up and get involved?
Well, first of all, Lindsey Graham needs to look at his own Senate. We just had, in addition to the security that is already provided for the justices, Democrats and Republicans agreed, a bipartisan agreement, 100% agreement to step that up and to beef that up. So I'm not sure if the Department of Justice needs to add another layer on top of that. Of course, the Senate vote with, both sides saying, yay, thumbs up that the justices need this goes to the House. But how many levels of security? We do have laws on the books. People are entitled to peacefully protest, but I said this earlier so that people on Twitter who are misquoting me and threatening my kids basically hear the Constitution is very clear. The Constitution and the First Amendment specifically do have exceptions for time, for place, and for manner. And the federal mandate is very clear, which is if you're trying to influence, whether it's a juror, whether it is a judge, it is illegal and it is wrong. So you don't go to their house. And another thing I would say is, I want to just say very quickly, you can't talk about arms. I don't care if it's left or right. We're very divisive. We're very heated. People are passionate. We have more guns owned in this country than ever before. That's dangerous and irresponsible for any elected official. I don't care if they're wearing blue or red to say that.
Yeah,
but I'm going to say, you can protest, you can be angry. It does nothing. You have to vote. And if you don't vote, the protest to me is meaningless. I don't care where you're standing.
Okay, very quickly, because I want to get you guys to weigh in on what's happening at the border. Bill Melugin tweeting this today. Under U.S. law, illegal immigrants who've been convicted of aggravated felonies or, quote, particularly serious crimes and are found to be a danger to the U.S. are barred from getting asylum. Well, under the previous ruling, mental health was not to be considered. Garland just overruled that. So a quick comment, if I can get from you both, the fact that the Attorney General says now even people who have committed these kinds of crimes that should keep them from getting asylum, Garland now says you can consider the mental health issues with a particular person. Aaron, to you quickly, and then Leslie.
This is absolutely ridiculous, and this is the Attorney General writing a rule book for criminals to circumvent immigration law and stay here in the United States. Not only will you break the law to enter the United States illegally, you will break the law when you are here in this case relative to talking about exactly what the Attorney General is doing. You might get a free cell phone as well. I mean, look at what Democrats are doing. They are soft on crime. And who does that hurt the most? It hurts Americans the most. Why? Because they are the victims of this crime. The one particularly that Garland talked about here was a burglary, and that means somebody got hurt, and he doesn't seem to care.
Leslie, quick final word.
Mental illness is a real problem, but so is violent crime. None of us want violent criminals to come into this country, but I do think they have to be seen on a case-by-case basis, and I do trust our Attorney General and our Department of Justice to continue to keep us safe.
All right, Leslie and Aaron, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.